All right, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. If you're staying safe at home, hopefully. Welcome to Las Comadres lunch break. And we do this every weekday live. We do a panel on amazing topics. Today we have an amazing topic called How to Boost Your Immune System with the Food in Your Pantry. And we have come together with amazing experts in our community who are women who have been doing this for years and are going to share their expertise with us, their tips and tricks on what to do while we're home and we don't know what to do with our food and we want to keep our immunity up. These women are going to be gems today sharing their knowledge. So join me in welcoming Candy Calderon, who is a holistic health and wellness coach. We also have Rebecca Washuda, who is a licensed dietitian nutritionist. And we have Sage Lee, who is a wellness coach and founder of The Art of Blooming. Welcome, ladies. So just so you guys know out there, audience, this is a interactive session. So please send your questions in. This is for you. If you have any questions while we're on this panel, feel free to send them in and the ladies will answer them live. So this is a great opportunity to get all your questions answered. All right, so we always kick this off at Las Comadres with a special question, ladies, and that is, what is one thing you are grateful for today? Who would like to go first?
Well, the fact that I opened my eyes and, when nowadays, because of this situation, it's something that we have taken for granted for so long, and the fact that we're breathing and that we're healthy, and I hope it's the same for all of you. Just open my eyes and that I'm healthy and that my husband is healthy as well. So yeah, super grateful for that.
Yeah, I feel that.
I go next. You want to go?
No, go ahead, Sage.
Okay, thanks. So what I'm grateful for is very simple, that I'm still alive and I still feel the air. I still see the sun, not being outside, but your spirit is outside. I'm an outside spirit. So yeah, just simply that I'm here and just being that, what I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
I love that. So I think I am most grateful right now for a little bit of extra time for stillness and reflection. I think before this global crisis, what everyone would say is, I wish I had more time. I wish I had more time. And so now we do have more time to, really reprioritize and reflect and refocus.
Yes, yes. Thank you, ladies. It's beautiful. I am grateful for all of you today and all the amazing little tidbits we're going to learn. So everyone knows the immune system is this really vast network of organs and functions and different things that are going on in your body to keep your immunity up. And it's really scientific, but all we know is that it helps us fight off sickness and infection. It's really complex, but I hope that through this conversation, we'll be able to break it down for people in a very easy to learn way, in a very bite-sized way, no pun intended. And being that right now we're in the situation where we're on self-isolation, it's really helpful for us to know what we have in our pantries and what we can do with what we have. So my grandmother back in the day, she taught me when I was really young, she always taught me that the sickness comes through the stomach. And I never believed her. Like, I was like, through my gut, I get sick through my gut. That doesn't make any sense. And so as I got older, I started I remembered her words. And so when I would get sick, I would attack my stomach right away. Like I would take something for my stomach and then I saw that I would feel better. So I was like, maybe my grandmother was onto something, So is there any truth behind gut health and how it plays a role in your immune system?
Yeah, so I'd love to jump in here. Your grandmother was a very smart woman, and actually 70% of our immune system lies within our gut. And so gut health really equals immune health. And so it's really important to make sure we have a strong gut barrier and that viruses and bacteria and certain food particles aren't getting through the gut and getting into our system, which would trigger the immune system. So yeah, it is very important to prioritize gut health.
Yeah, and it's funny because we are, your grandma, I mean, abuelas knows best always. And it's crazy that, and I always say this, our abuelas were the biggest curanderas ever. And we have inherited that through our generations and generation. It's been passed down. And now when you see all this holistic explosion where we are more now following a holistic approach, we see back and but that's what my grandma was actually doing, like going back to Mother Nature to heal. And they didn't have the specific words or fancy words that we have now to say about, to talk about the gut and connection with your health, with your brain, with your immune system. But at the core, they knew that everything starts in your gut. And all illnesses starts in your gut. Equally, you cannot have a strong immune system if your gut is weak. And that's why it's so important when we're talking about boosting your immune system, making it strong, that we start in our gut. And that's something that not many people know. They start taking pills, they start taking drugs, prescribed drugs and supplements, but they really don't understand that the connection, because they right away get scared, but they don't tackle the root cause, just the symptoms. So it's very important that we're having this conversation because I think it's, especially now, it's so needed.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I also agree with all the things you ladies just shared. And I want to add it into it. So I'm from Vietnam originally, and Vietnamese people just really love to use spices and vegetable and herbs in order to help them feel better. Of course, with the kind of sickness that you think it is emergency, herbs and spices wouldn't help you at that moment. But when it comes to your lifestyle and, like what daily you can do to protect yourself and boost your immune system, food and spices and herbs are actually coming in handy and with no side effects. Then that is like the big race in the Vietnamese community. We love to use natural ingredients to cook and eat. And even when we're sick, the things that we do when we're sick, like the Western society must be like, are you crazy, really? That's how you do to bring your fever down. But to many occasions, it works really well, and it's help your body like naturally ease into the healing process instead of like forcing it into healing.
Yeah. So you guys bring up a good point, which is like, we live in a society where when we get sick, that's when we start focusing on what we're eating and what we're doing. And we start taking the supplements and we start taking the pills and we treat the symptoms. But what we're talking about today, I think, is a lot deeper than that. So I guess let's just dive right in. Like, what are some things that people have in their kitchen right now that may be something very beneficial that they're not even aware of, that they could be taking or eating or consuming?
I'd like to build off of what Sage just mentioned with the spices. There are a lot of really, really powerful herbs and spices out there. Two of my favorites are garlic and onions. They have a lot of really powerful antibacterial and antiviral properties. And really, the more diverse you can make your diet with all of the spices, the better it is for your overall immune system.
Yeah, I was joking the other day that on my Instagram, eating raw garlic, and I was like, I'm gonna kiss my husband right now, and he's like running from me. But in reality, is that I try to do it every day, especially raw garlic. People are so afraid of chewing a garlic because it's kind of spicy. But I would say if you are a newbie and you mind the taste of garlic, just like chop it a little bit, smash it so it really releases the healing properties, and then just gulp it down with water or something, but try to integrate. I love garlic, yes, because as Rebecca mentioned, it has so many antiviral properties and healing properties. And I brought like a bunch of this from the supermarket the other day, and it's crazy because I went to Publix, I went to so many, and then I finally found on Aldi, right? People are really like purchasing the onions, garlic, because they understand that now the best bet we have is going back to Mother Nature. I would say my second best it would be turmeric. I love it. I try to integrate that not only now, but forever. I sound like a broken record recommending it. And for me, it's one of the most anti-inflammatory and herbs that you can integrate in your daily diet. I love to use it in powder version mainly because I'm lazy. I don't want to peel it. I don't want to deal with the root. And I tried once and it tainted my nails, and I spent like 10 days trying to get it out of my nails. So I love it in powder version. It's so versatile. You can put it on your smoothies, you can do teas, you can saute, you can do so many things. And so for me, that would be the best one besides garlic, of course, as Rebecca said, but turmeric for sure.
Yeah, thank you, Rebecca and Candy. Yes, I also love all of those things that you guys mentioned, and I want to add into one of my favorite ever. It's ginger. So ginger is also a lot of anti-inflammatory, and it help you not only with your gut health, but also if you have like a cold or like headache or nausea, it's incredible. The feeling when you drink it, like with the warm water, you just feel so loved. Like I call it it's a power root, because the power that it's give me, it's the warm, the feeling of like being loved. And ginger is one, and also turmeric. I am a big fan. I never eat like turmeric itself. Like my mom used to love it. She cooked it and she would chew the whole root. Like she would smash it and put it in the food, and then she just pick it out and eat it. I was like, how can you do it? It's very intense taste. Yes. But yes, to the point you say, the powder is very convenient, and it's actually very, very healthy for us.
Yeah, and people keep asking me because they're like wondering, oh, is that your favorite brand? And I do love this one, which is called Just In Case You're Looking, because we have to be very mindful, specifically when we're purchasing products intending for us to create healing elixirs or any type of foods that we put in our body with the intention of healing. So I like this brand, which is called Mood Belly, but also as a tip, I always keep telling people, go to Marshall's or TJ Maxx or Home Goods, and in the food section you will find like so many hidden gems and good brands that are organic. Wow. And then and let me show you this one. I got this one that is actually a mix of the ginger with the turmeric, and it only cost me like $4, and it's organic. I had the reviews and the sources they use for that, so you don't have to spend a lot of money to get like good quality products. So for me, I was like, don't tell anybody but TJ Maxx, Home Goods, and what's the other? TJ Maxx, Home Goods, and Marshall's.
Marshall, yeah.
Yeah, and you can find it really affordable.
That's what I was doing also. I mean, you don't really need to pay top dollars, but you can find a very good quality products in those places.
Yeah, that's such a great point. One of my favorite spice mixes is the Everything But the Bagel seasoning that you can get from Trader Joe's, but they're always sold out. So I was in TJ Maxx last month and they had a whole stockpile of them. So I grabbed them. So that's a great recommendation.
Cool. Okay, so spices, garlic, onion, turmeric, all these yummy things that mostly all of us already have. And if we don't have, there's some cool, easy places to get them. So what are some foods that we can, as people, we can continue to eat on a regular basis, not just when we get sick, but like, I think most of you have mentioned like things that you could just be adding to your diet, incorporating into your diet that helps you keep your immunity up.
So you had mentioned, Mio, your grandmother earlier, and I think something a lot of us heard from our grandparents is the power of chicken soup, right? We've all heard that can be really healing and it's good to have when you're sick. And there's a lot of truth behind that. And it's not so much in the chicken soup that, Campbell's that you buy at the store, but it's when our grandmothers cooked chicken soup, they cooked it with the bones. And so to get that same benefit now, you can actually get bone broth, and it has really powerful amino acids that can heal your gut, and then also has a lot of minerals that we need to support our immune defenses. So I think taking the time right now, right? We all have extra time on our hands to cook your own soup from scratch and add in those spices and vegetables and use the bone broth like we talked about. I think that's really helpful.
Yeah, and also like with bone broth, you can make a big batch, and it's convenient. You can make a big batch and then throw them in the fridge, and whenever you can like unfreeze them and use them in long term.
Yeah, I think that making it a habit to eat probiotic rich foods, no matter if you're sick or not, it's always a good a good habit to have. And some people are wondering like, oh, so what type of foods can I eat that are probiotics like naturally? And I'll say all fermented foods are full of probiotics because the fermentation process creates the good bacteria. And equally, people are afraid like, bacteria, no, I don't want that. But actually there's bad and good bacteria, and we actually need the good bacteria for gut health. Right? So when you're eating probiotic rich foods, you're actually giving your body that good bacteria. I would say sauerkraut, right? It's so full and rich in probiotics because it's fermented cabbage. We are used to thinking about sauerkraut only when we think about hot dogs and putting it on top of it. At least guys do that, and you can actually have a spoon of sauerkraut every day, maybe before going to bed or when you wake up, whenever you want. And it is so full of probiotics. And equally, if you don't have any sugar issues, I would say kombucha too. And I say sugar issues because the fermentation process for kombucha involves sugar. So if you're trying to be mindful of your sugar levels, so maybe that's not the safest bet for yourself. And miso, and I know that Sage, maybe your mom cooks a lot with miso, which is fermented soy paste, and we can do the miso soup, saute veggies, and they're so full of probiotics. And if all that maybe life gets in the way and you cannot get foods with probiotics naturally in it, at the end of the day, being realistic, you can also supplement it, right? But give your body, make it a habit to give your body enough probiotics because we need it for gut health.
Yeah, you also can ferment your own vegetable. It's actually very easy. And in some cases, you don't really need too much, like only salt. Like salt and some vinegar. I usually do that at home for myself because we have this kind of vegetable fermented kind of it's like kimchi, but it's not kimchi. It's a Vietnamese version of fermented vegetable, and I made it so much, and I can't find it here in America, and I just do it for myself, and it's very simple. It's only vinegar, and salt, some salt.
I need to learn how to do that.
Sure, you text me. I'll give you the recipe.
Yeah, anyone who's out there listening, if you want the recipes for any of this, please comment below and let us know. The ladies will follow up with you. And if you have any questions coming up so far, please let us know. We're happy to answer them. So, okay, fermented foods, probiotic foods. Go ahead, Sage.
I also want to add is eat more fiber. I think this is something that will help your guts a lot. When it comes to gut health, and it's definitely when your gut is healthy, it's gonna add up to your immune system. And a lot of greens, color. It doesn't need to be just vegetable. Add more colors into your diet also helps a lot. And I would recommend eat a lot of green. Leafy greens, like spinach or kales, or if you don't really like them, you can put them in smoothie and have them with another kind of fruit. That way, you would add up to your fiber intake.
Yeah. What's funny? I love spinach. I'm like a spinach freak, and I used to buy spinach and it used to go bad all the time. So now I freeze it. And it works great because then I can just, use it whenever, and I continue using it, and it's a perfect solution. But yeah, there's so many different things that we can do. And I heard once that the idea when you're going to eat that your plate looks like the colors of a rainbow. Is that true?
Ideally, yes.
Ideally.
Yes, ideally, yes, in the sense that you want to give variety and nutrient dense foods to your body. But not necessarily that, oh my gosh, it has to be different colors. Your plate can look very boring, but if the food is very nutritious, so you are good. Especially, I think the, varying of colors and all this good stuff, mostly for moms who have kids and want to entice them. But the idea behind the rainbow is just to give your body, and when you eat that variety, so you're not eating only carbs, or you're not eating only fats, or you're not eating only protein, because the idea is that you have a balanced diet. So I think that mostly instead of thinking, oh, let me eat different colors, it's just to have a balanced plate.
Yeah, I think that more than one color should work. Like if you have a portion of meat, and you have a portions of vegetable, and then a portions of of carb, but like a healthy carb, not not carb. More than one color should work. So.
Yeah, a neat way to think about it actually is the colors in the different fruits and vegetables represent different phytonutrients. So orange and red veggies are carotenoids, and blue and purple fruits and veggies have polyphenols. So they really do all have different properties. So that's why it's good to include such a big variety into your diet. But that's not to say that white vegetables like cauliflower aren't good for you. Cauliflower has sulforaphane, which is really, really potent and powerful in detoxing and supporting your immune system. So I think it's good to try to get more colors in, but like Candy and Sage said, just any type of variety on your plate is better than nothing.
Well, and cauliflower is making a big, it's all over the place now. You find cauliflower rice, cauliflower pasta, cauliflower potato.
Just go to Trader Joe's, and you'll find cauliflower gnocchis, cauliflower pizza, cauliflower rice. I'm all for it. And I even add it to my smoothies. It makes it creamier, and
really?
It lowers any type of carbs. If you're being mindful of carbs, because let's be honest, not everybody here is following a low carb diet, or is not, minding the carbs, because if you are on a healthy way and you're just trying to eat balance and not like lowering any type of food group, then you should be eating your macros in a way that you're not afraid of, that it's just that which type of carbs. But yeah, if you're trying to lower the carb intake throughout your day, like cauliflower is amazing. It's amazing to substitute that cauliflower mash. It tastes amazing. It does the trick to trick your brain that you're eating potato mash sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love cauliflower.
Awesome. So we just got a question in from the audience. So we have, going back to the bone broth, is a high quality powder version good too, or is the only way to have it by making it fresh?
I think ideally, if you can make it at home and make it fresh and freeze it, like Sage said, that's when you're going to get the most potent effects. That being said, we don't all have hours and hours to cook, so you can definitely get a box broth, but you just need to make sure that it is organic and pasture raised, because you want to make sure that the animal that it came from wasn't eating grain, because that actually affects the quality of the amino acids within the bone broth.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
I would say also be mindful of these sodium levels, because this prepackaged, I've seen so many bone broth, and when I turn back, and I think that's a good practice, always, no matter which product you're taking, always make friends with reading labels, because at the end of the day, you're trying to be practical. Yes, we are all busy, maybe not so much right now. And as Rebecca said, like, who has time to make a bone broth from scratch? So maybe now you do have the time, but when we go back, and we will go back to, whatever type of normalcy it is that we go back to, and maybe you don't have the time to make it from scratch, just be mindful of the sodium intake, because you might be thinking, oh, I'm boosting my immune system because I'm having bone broth, but you're taking all this huge sodium intake, which is, the worst for our health, especially if you have a high blood pressure. We should be super mindful of that. And that's my biggest concern with all these prepackaged foods, the sodium.
Yeah, I also think that with the prepackaged food, preserves and so that things they might be putting in there, even in the small scale, but if we consume it for a while, it's gonna, it's gonna stay in our body, and we need to properly detox to be able to get rid of it. So I would suggest, yes, look at the label, and if even you don't know how to read the label, just know that whatever you can pronounce, that that's good, but whatever you can't, you don't understand what is that name that they put it there, that's probably a big red flag when it comes to
your best friend is Google. I mean, if you don't understand, because there are healthy ingredients that sounds like, what is this? For example, vitamin C, citric acid. You'll read that and you'll think you're poisoning yourself, right? But it's not, it's just pure vitamin C. So in many products. So at the end of the day, do your research. I always say, be your best, your own advocate. Research. Don't take it from us. Don't believe blindly whatever people are telling you. And also don't believe blindly whatever you find on Google either. So do your own due diligence, do your own research, because at the end of the day, you should be more invested in your own health than we are. We are just here to guide you as coaches, our nutritionists, our dietitians. We're just here to guide you and give you guidelines. But at the end of the day, you need to be your own best advocate and make sure that your health is your own priority as well.
So
if you don't check your sources.
If you don't spend time to cook, at least spend time to read.
Exactly.
So, and also, by the way, I found an organic bone broth frozen in Publix because my mom was sick a couple months back, and I bought it for her, and it was organic and it was pasture raised. So there are also some frozen bone broth that you can get. So we have another question, ladies. So one person says, what if you are allergic to garlic? Is there another alternative?
When it comes to the properties of antifungal, I like a lot, if you cannot eat garlic and if you're not allergic to that either, to oregano oil, which has similar properties. And actually, I have one here. This is my favorite. I don't know if you guys can see it. So it's basically
my husband.
So it's basically, I have it here like in oil, but honestly, guys, don't see my manicure, please. It's like quarantine manicure.
No judging, no judging.
Please, no judging. So I like it in oil version because I put it on my tea. I put it, sometimes in my water. It is very strong, but also you can get the, fresh leaves and make it tea. Oregano has so many antiviral, antifungal properties. So if you're allergic to garlic, I think that this will be a great substitute too.
Awesome.
Yeah, just to add to that, so garlic is in the allium family of vegetables, and so garlic's cousins are onions, leeks, and chives. So even though you're allergic to garlic, doesn't mean you're allergic to all the other vegetables in that family that also have very similar anti-cancer, antiviral, and antibacterial properties. So I would recommend giving that a shot.
Nice. Awesome. So something just came up for me. I swear by moringa powder. I don't know if you guys know about that, but I take it regularly and it's amazing. And it's natural. You can get it online. You can get it in powder form. Do you guys have anything to say about moringa?
I have to be honest, I am not crazy about moringa, not for any reason at all. It's just not so much on my radar. And when it comes to adaptogens, I am more drawn to ashwagandha, maca, and all that type of, to add to my smoothies. I know moringa has so many benefits. I just personally don't use it that much. So I'm not really, I really don't use it that much, but I know it has so many benefits. I don't know if Rebecca or Sage can talk more about it.
So I also not really that much into added, ingredients into my daily diet. I usually just more moving towards the fresh, food and whole food. Added things to my diet is, I can't think. I don't even take vitamins. I don't take supplements. And my husband really upset with me because he buy a bunch of vitamins and I never take them. I was like, I eat enough vitamins, so I don't really need them. So I don't it's not really on my radar, to be honest.
Because you get them in your vegetables and what you eat regularly. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are some things that people may be doing on a regular basis that they don't know are working against their own immune systems? And maybe we can tie that into some of the basics that people should be doing regularly, like just some basic things that you might do in your regular practice during your day or whatnot.
To me, I think like start your day with a warm drink is always really helpful for your digestive system, and just simply make you feel better. Generally, I start my day with ginger and lemon water, and that is something that has been saving me for so many years. Not only start my day with that, I also end my day with it. I find it helped me sleep very well because there was no achy in my stomach. There was no bloating in my stomach. So that is one of the things that I actually built a habit to never miss a day without taking it.
Without drinking something warm in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I think right now, and please don't hate me, please don't kill me. I know quarantine, has done a number on all of us, and we're drinking way too much because we're quarantined, and it's like, oh my gosh, wine, I'm so stressed, or hard liquor. And if we're really trying to maintain our immune system strong, alcohol is like, I'm not saying don't drink, please don't hate me, don't kill me, but I'm just saying, like, be mindful, especially if you have an underlying health issue already and your immune system might already be compromised. I would say stay away from alcohol as much as you can, and sugar for sure, 100%. So because I know we're quarantined, and I know we are like here, and we grab that shot of tequila, that wine, and I understand. But if you really are like trying to be mindful, especially for my folks and women in here and that are watching this, or maybe catch the replay, and your immune system is compromised, I would say please try to not drink so much alcohol.
Yeah, Candy, I think you make a great point there. And to add to that, I think sugar and processed foods in general right now aren't great. Obviously, we're all super stressed and we want to reach for comfort foods like alcohol and sweets. But being stressed in general raises your blood sugar, and raising your blood sugar raises your insulin, which triggers inflammation. So we're all extra inflamed right now because we're under a lot of stress. So adding sugar and adding alcohol to that is really just like adding fuel to the fire. So I think the more we can get back to a whole foods, nutrient dense diet, the better.
Nice.
Yeah, and adding to what you guys sharing about drinking, I say that the moderate drinking, like a little bit of a glass of wine once in a while, moderation wouldn't hurt, but for sure, excessive drinking and also processed food definitely gonna number on you and your health. I remember before the lockdown began, I went to Trader Joe, and we see the first sections of foods that disappear. It's the frozen and processed foods section, and I see that, and I was like, oh my God.
That was everywhere. I saw pictures of vegetable sections completely full, and then all the frozen section and all the processed was empty.
Yes, and I know that under numbers of stress in the situation, it's very easy, like for us to fall into that norm of like eating unhealthy and doesn't have a healthy habit to support us and our health. But there is a lot of healthy, like things that we can do that actually can de-stress, and at the same time giving you, like that just satisfy that feeling of cravings that, like we haven't discovered yet.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're talking a lot about physical health, which is super important, but also eating well and avoiding alcohol is good for your mental health. Right now, everyone's stressed, everyone's feeling anxious, and alcohol is like a band-aid for that. And ultimately, when you stop taking the alcohol, your nervous system escalates, and then you feel even more anxious. So what I've tried to do during the week, I limit alcohol to the weekends, and during the week, in the evening when I'm feeling stressed, I just brew a cup of chamomile or lavender tea, right? There are other things that we can do. And even if you need to put that in a wine glass, right, and trick your brain into keeping up with the habit, there are other beverages you can consume to sort of take the edge off.
Yeah. And we're not here saying, oh, don't drink. It's just as Sage was saying, moderation. And yes, everything in moderation, including moderation. So yes, go ahead and have that glass of wine, but like be mindful that right now having a strong immune system is so key, especially because with all this COVID-19, the safest bet, and I have been saying this since we started this challenging moment that we're living, there's no cure, there's no vaccine. So the safest bet for us is to have a strong immune system, not because it will prevent you from getting the virus, but that in the case that you do, you are able to heal faster, to not have the complications that are landing so many people on ER, and sadly many dying because they have a weak immune system, they have a compromised immune system, or underlying health issues. So right now, our safest bet is just have a strong immune system, because there's nothing else that we can do other than that. And if we're really thinking about that and thinking about prevention, anything that you do to support that is not a crazy measure. So just be mindful of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we have more questions coming in. So, and audience, please send in more of your questions. The ladies are here answering them. So one of the questions is, what is an adaptogen and what is its importance during this time? And then also on the aspect of reaching for something sweet, someone asked, is a little dark chocolate better if you're craving something sweet?
I would say, I think the adaptogens, it's your immune system that actually they're working on pattern and recognize the pattern and how the sickness attacks you. It's slower and but it's smarter. So it's learn how to fight back the sickness, but it needs a lot of time. So and that is like a part of your immune system. You have like two immune systems.
I think they're more going towards asking, I think, about the herbs, if I'm not mistaken. And yes, so adaptogens are basically herbs that help you, and as the name says, adapt better to stress, right? And we've been through our conversation without even naming them as adaptogens. We've been mentioning some of them. And for me, the ones that I like the best is ashwagandha and maca. I love those two. And I don't know if you ladies love any other. And moringa, we mentioned it, but I'm not really crazy about it. But yes,
I swear by it.
So yes, for the question specifically, what are adaptogens? They're herbs to help you adapt better, to help your body adapt better to stress.
Yeah, so that's super important because your adrenal glands, which sit on top of your kidneys, are what are responsible for your stress hormones. So what's interesting is the majority of the vitamin C that's stored in our body is stored in the adrenal glands. So when we're stressed, we quickly use up all our vitamin C, which makes us more prone to infection. So these herbs called adaptogens really help modulate the stress response, and they can either take it down or take it up a little bit, depending upon what our body needs.
Cool. So look for those out there, people. Google adaptogens. Cool. So, and then the question of, is a little dark chocolate better if you're craving something sweet? And maybe some other ideas that you guys might have. You mentioned lavender tea.
Of course, a little bit chocolate is better than nothing. But especially when you're craving chocolate, please remember that chocolate and cacao is not the same, right? Some people, when they're feeling like, oh, let me grab chocolate, but remember, we've been telling you to try stay away from sugar as much as possible. So what my suggestion is always to have in your kitchen, in your pantry or your fridge, a little bit of cacao, at least 70% up, right? So that means that the sugar content is way minimal, and then you're still giving your brain, at the end of the day, it's our brain which is craving that kick, that fix of cacao, right? Because chocolate is milk with a little bit of cacao and sugar, right? What we're trying to have here is cacao, which actually has so many antioxidants. We all know that. But yeah, try when you get it that it's at least 70% cacao. 70%. It will be darker. It won't be as sweet because it doesn't have all that sugar. But trust me, just a little square will do the trick.
Yeah, I agree with that. Dark chocolate is very healthy for your heart health too, on that front. And I want to add a little bit. I thought I misunderstood the adaptogens because I was thinking about the immune system have like the adapt immune system.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I was like going into like talking about adapt immune system. Sorry about that.
Oh, if you're craving also something sweet, going back to that question, and if you have dates, or if not, you go ahead and get them, because dates are it's like Mother Nature candy. And I love them, and like what I usually do is that I open them and put a little bit of almond butter or cashew butter, and then sprinkle with cinnamon. Oh my gosh, that you will die. I mean, it's so delicious, it's so good, and it's super sweet. So if you're craving something sweet, instead of grabbing something that it's, you know, so processed and full of sugar, again, go back to Mother Nature. She gave us everything we need, everything we need. We just sometimes are out of ideas, and that's why we're giving you so many options here.
Yeah, absolutely. And to build off of that, if you are craving something sweet and you're baking, I've been doing a lot of baking recently because I've been stressed. So just trying to use nutrient-dense sweetener. So get rid of the white sugar, get rid of the super processed sugar, but try maple syrup, try honey, or even try dates. You can blend them up and you can use them in certain desserts.
Yeah, also a lot of fruit have, you know, natural sweet taste that you can kind of ease out of like craving very sweet taste. And if you brush your teeth daily, and you can find this like a tongue scraper.
Yes.
So scrape your tongue so your tongue will be more sensitive to taste. That way, you will be less likely to wanting a very sweetened, you know, like taste, because it's very sensitive. So even like a natural sweet from the fruit can satisfy your taste already.
Wow.
Nice. Very good tip. And the questions are just trickling in, ladies. This is great. So we have another one. Is there anything specifically good to support the lungs or bronchial system at this time that you guys would maybe know of or think of or can refer to?
So they actually did a clinical study recently where they compared honey to cough syrup, and it actually did better than cough syrup. So just having a teaspoon of honey before bed can really help calm a cough. Another herb that's really good for respiratory infections is thyme.
Thyme.
Definitely.
A lot of us have thyme in our cupboards.
And if you're feeling congested also, you can definitely do like a little bit, you know, a pot of hot water and drop maybe some eucalyptus essential oils and like cover your face with maybe a towel or something and like breathe that, because sometimes that congestion is, especially if, you know, with this virus that affects the lungs, and breathing that can at least give you a little bit of a, how do I say this, like a relief in terms of, in terms of respiratory, and also a humidifier. If you can find one now, you go to Walmart, you won't find any. So maybe Amazon. So if you're having issues with that, I would say eucalyptus oil, essential oils, you know, for breathing are also very good. Not to fight the infection, but just to give you a little bit of a sense of relief, you know, when you're breathing.
Yeah, and also like clean out your nostrils once in a while with salt water, like very light salt water. I find that very helpful too, to clean out your nose, and it would help you breathe better. And to your suggestion, Candy, usually I use lemongrass and you know, some lime, and you can boil like a pot of that and have the towel over your head, so you have your own sauna. Just open your
nasal.
What is
nasal?
Nasal. Yes, it is.
Amazing. Yeah, and these are all things that we have at home. It's easy to steam water, and we can get essential oils online. Those are easy to get. And we might have lemon, we might have already eucalyptus. So yeah, that's a great tip. What are some things, ladies, any other like aspects that play an important role in the state of our immune system that we might like take for granted, like our age play, does that play a factor? Our activities, the way we live our lives, our routines, different things like that, our exercise routine, like anything that we're doing or not doing that are playing a role, excuse me, in our immune system.
I feel like stress is like number one that affects your immune system, especially like now. And I mean, I understand that you like people are busy, and some people who are not busy, they are, kind of like doesn't want to do anything. It's just they couldn't see the future or the tomorrow. But doesn't do anything doesn't mean that you're relaxing. You have to actually with like intention going into, okay, I am doing this to taking care of myself, and this is my de-stress session. So you need to communicate with yourself very clearly about why you do certain thing. And for example, if you take a glass of wine, you would say, oh, I deserve this, is such a stressful day, right? That kind of communication is not really what I'm talking about. It's just more like, be curious, like, okay, I'm doing this because I'm stressed, but is that serving the de-stress
is that really de-stressing me? Correct. Yeah.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
I love that, Sage. I think it is so important for us to all actively relax, right? There's a difference between numbing, like sitting in front of the TV and watching Netflix for hours, and actually relaxing, like deep breathing or doing yoga or going for a walk. So I think we all need to find at least one activity a day, even if it's for 15 minutes, journaling, meditation, to just take the time to actively relax.
Yeah, and something that also people, because we do it every day, but again, as Sage said, and we need to be intentional about the practices we do to actively, boost our immune system. And I think sleeping, resting is one of them. Right now, we are in a situation where we are bombarded with so much stress, either because we are afraid of our health, we are afraid of our loved ones' health, we are afraid that we might lose our job, we are afraid of so many things, and that is actively taking a toll on our stress. And we have seen our sleeping patterns to be disrupted, right? Because many of us are quarantined, and our sleeping patterns have shifted. Now I'm going later to bed, or waking up earlier, or waking up later, and I'm actually sleeping, but I'm not resting, because when I'm stressed, I am not able to really rest when I'm sleeping. And one of the things that can weaken your immune system is the lack of rest. And there's so many studies that are done in the brain for people who are sleep deprived, and it really changes equally as if you were consuming drugs. So it's crazy the toll it takes on your brain, on your health, on your immune system. So I would say be more intentional also right now with your sleeping patterns and the rest that you're taking. And no, Netflix and chilling, as Rebecca was mentioning, like, oh, a Netflix is not resting. You need to be more intentional when you're going to bed to keep doing your rituals and your habits. So when we're out of this, you actually come out on a better way than you entered the situation. And I know it's a challenge, but at the end of the day, if we're not intentional about everything we're doing right now, this will be more challenging for all of us, and especially our health. So I would say let's say if you're having issues going back to sleep right now, you can do maybe 1 hour before you go to bed. You can do like a relaxing tea. You can take a relaxing tea. You can also meditate a little bit before going to bed, or do maybe some breathing exercises to help you ease into that relaxing mode. But sleeping, it's very important, resting. And you will see that the more you do it and the more intentional you are, you will rest more, okay? And that's super important, because if you don't rest, your immune system cannot be strong.
Great point. Great point. And audience out there, for any other questions that you might have, please send them in. We're here answering all these amazing questions. We have so many, such amazing wisdom. I'm learning so much here. It's incredible. One thing that works for me to get me to bed early is I'll do a really rigorous power walk every day. I have a certain setup here where I can do a power walk. And a lot of people can't, but maybe some kind of physical exertion, like even if it's in your living room, maybe, or, you know, something you could do, maybe do squats in position, you know, and just kind of get your heart rate up and get some exercise in so that you can get a little tired for when it's time to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And I guess exercise too helps the immune system, right?
It does. It does. And right now, when, you know, because we're at home and we're not going to the gym, we are not maybe being so active, because instead of waking up and maybe going to, like, I work from home, but for those who are used to go outside and drive and walk and interact more, like, they're not doing any of that. So lifestyle has been like so sedentary lately. So I would say, go ahead. There's so, like, all fitness trainers right now are doing like virtual sessions, and on YouTube you just go to IG at noon and you'll see all those pop-ups, you know, fitness classes, and just do it, and at least move your body 20 minutes intentionally, okay? Intentionally for 20, 25 minutes, whatever you can do. So, because moving your body and staying active is also a huge part of having a strong immune system. If you're sedentary, if you're sitting on your couch every day or behind a computer, your immune system also will be weakened. So that's why I think all of us here move towards more a holistic approach instead of just thinking about nutrition when we talk about our health, because everything is intertwined, right? And you might be eating the greenest of salads and the cleanest of diets, but if you're neglecting your stress, your mental health, your emotional, and your fitness also, you cannot really say you are on a well state. You know, you will not have well-being. So it's important that we think about all of that, not seeking perfection, but thinking about those intentionally.
Yes.
Yeah, Candy, thank you so much to mention that. I'm sorry. Yeah, I just want to add very quickly on what Candy was sharing, that it is, in the end of the day, it's very important that who you are being while you are doing all of this healthy things. You can, yes, like you say, you can eat the most healthy food, but you are stressing out when you are eating it. It won't serve its purpose. So for all of this beautiful thing that works towards you in effort to make you healthier and stronger, you yourself need to be in the same wavelength, in the same vibrations with all of these beautiful things that you are doing. So yes, like who you are being when you are doing something. When you wake up in the morning, who you want to be today. That is the decision needs to be made before you start your day out.
That's really beautiful. I love that. One thing I wanted to add is, you know, Candy made a great point. A lot of our lifestyles have changed. We're at home a lot more frequently. I think if you don't have one, now could be a really good time to invest in one of those like Fitbits or some type of fitness tracker to really keep track of how much you're moving during the day. So you can, you know, set a goal of 5,000 or 10,000 steps and really work towards that. Even if it's just you pacing up and down your hallway while you're FaceTiming with your family, I think it's important to do that. And a lot of the newer fitness trackers can also track your sleep, which is really important. So you can be able to tell, you know, like last night I had a glass of wine and maybe I didn't sleep so well, or tonight I took a bath and I slept better. So you can sort of hack your own health, you know, and figure out what works better for you.
Yeah, and I want to give a tip for all of you out there who are not fitness geek. Like you're not really that into go to the gym or like not into working out so hard. There is a lot of way of movement, not exercise, it's movement. All we need is movement. Some way we move the muscle that we have, some way we train our body so it's not forget what it can do. Very simple. I mean, before you go to sleep, like an hour before that, you can turn on your favorite song, dancing like crazy in your room. Ask your husband, your spouses, your family member, come and dance with you. Be goofy. I mean, who cares, right? Or have something with your husband, some kissing session. That's
the best exercise. The best Yes.
There's a lot of energy towards that too. Cleaning your house is also a movement, a workout, right? So there is a lot of form of movement that you can do that you don't really have to like do the strong, like weightlifting or exercise in certain way that you don't really feel interested in.
And on a funny note, I've been reading and I think it will be true. We will have lots of Corona babies at the end of the year because we're all here and we're like, oh my gosh. I mean, so please be prepared and don't tell anybody that we're here telling you to exercise, in that way. So be careful. And I was talking about the adaptogens earlier. And it's funny because I always joke about maca, which is called like Mother Nature's Viagra. It's funny, just a funny fact, because it's supposed, not supposed, there's data behind it that it helps with male situations. so it's kind of a good adaptogen. Like,
so it's good to be healthy.
Like, put a little bit on your husband's smoothie, and but don't say we told you that here, because then when you have your Corona baby at the end of the year, I'm not going to be guilty of telling you anything. Okay, so yeah.
Okay, ladies. So let's say you were deserted in your apartment or homes because of a huge pandemic. What would be the three foods that you reach for to have in your house? Being that you're dietitians, nutritionists, wellness coaches, what are the first three things you reach for and make sure, okay, I have to have these things in my house?
Okay, I'll go first. So one thing we didn't talk about was mushrooms. Mushrooms are super powerful. They have this compound called beta-glucans, which actually activates your body's natural killer cells. So mushrooms are really, really healthy. I think probiotic foods, like Candy said, sauerkraut are super powerful. And then in order to feed the probiotic foods, it's important to have prebiotics. So foods like asparagus and artichokes have really good sources of prebiotic fibers.
Who wants to go next?
I would reach to ginger. It's my number one to go. I have to have ginger. In fact, before all of this quarantine, I went to the supermarket and I bought like literally a really big bag of ginger, and that is a number one thing because anti-inflammatory. Number two will be a fruit basket. I love fruit, and it gives you a lot of vitamins and minerals. It's also really healthy for your skin. You're a lady, you want a beautiful skin. Fruit is a good source of vitamins and minerals for that. And the third, it will be my book. I love reading, and I think that when you read or even writing, it helps you. It's very therapeutic for you because the thought process will be reorganized. So the ways you react or the ways you your thoughts work towards everything that happened. It will be it will be in a healthier way each time you reorganize them. That's why journaling is healthy and reading is also healthy. So yes, that's three things I'm gonna help in my house.
And Candy?
Oh my gosh, this is hard, but three foods that I would, if that's the only thing I can have.
Well, no, three things that you reach for automatically. Like, these are the three things I need to have here. Like, not the only things, but like that you for sure have to have.
Like, for sure, three things I'll put on my cart. I'll put like,
you have too many.
I have to have plantains at home. I don't care. Like, I have to have, especially green, yellow plantain, like plátanos maduros. I have to have that, and it's not like the healthiest thing, but I have to have that. And leafy greens like spinach and mixed greens, so I can make my smoothies in the morning. And I would say turmeric. Like, I cannot think about a day in my life without it. I mean, I personally have lots of circulation issues, so I really have to have something that helps me with inflammation internally with my circulation. So I take it every day, and I know obviously the how healing it is. So if we're talking about for 3 items, let me choose at least 2 that are super healthy, and give me my plantains.
Awesome. Well, thank you, ladies, so much. This has been such an amazing, informative panel. You guys are just amazing nutritionists, dietitians, and wellness coaches, and we're so happy that we were able to bring this information to all of you out there. Las Comadres lunch breaks are happening every weekday from Monday to Friday on the public page, so feel free to invite your friends, share this on your page, to watch parties, because this is so important, such important information now, especially during this time. And if you have any other questions for the ladies, please always feel free to put them in the comments, tag them, they'll be happy to reply. And also, if you're interested in supporting our organization and these beautiful ladies, we have a link for that below as well to support us in what we do. And also just come and join us for lunch break every day at 12 o'clock noon on Monday through Friday. And we send you lots of love, many blessings, and we hope you have an amazing day. Thank you so much, ladies. I'm so grateful for you guys.
Thank you. I wanted to say before we finish that, and I know we'll do that. If you have any questions, if you're catching this as the replay and you couldn't catch it live, like, we will be circling back through the comments for the next 24 hours, just in case you have any questions. So we make sure to reply to them. So if you're catching the replay, don't be shy, leave us a comment, and maybe use the hashtag replay so we know you catch it later, and we come back and reply any of your questions. We want to serve you as much as we can. We know that right now people are thinking more and more about their health, rightfully so. So we're here for you. I know you ladies put all the links on the description of this video. DM us, email us, we're here for you. I also wanted to go ahead and create something that you can take home with you. So I created a free ebook that you can download with some of my favorite tips to help you fight inflammation. So I'm just gonna put this here in the comments, and you can download it. It's free. Some things that you can start doing right now, and many of the suggestions we made here are also on the ebook. And if you have any questions, just reach out. We're here for you. Las Comadres community is here for you. And this is what we're passionate about this. All 3 of us are super passionate about it. So reach out, and we're here for you.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a great day.
You too.
Awesome. Good job,
All
ladies.
right, ladies, you did great. Let's stop
That was so
recording.
fun.
How do you guys feel?